Stop right here. Pause everything for a second and take a deep breath. Now, I want you to picture the life you always dreamed of. Success, freedom, happiness. The life that feels like it's just out of reach, okay? Now, ask yourself, what's standing in the way? Is it time, resources, opportunity? Or is it something deeper? Something inside of you that's been holding you back? Let me guess. It's a limiting beliefs. You know, the ones that tell you you're not good enough or you'll never make it? Yeah, these ones. But here's the real questions. What if those beliefs were lies? And what if everything you've been telling yourself isn't the truth, but a story you keep replaying over and over again and is now engraved deep in your subconscious? Today I'm going to show you exactly how to break free from those chains. Trust me, I've been there. Lost, frustrated, wondering if I was really meant to have everything I dreamed of. And I remember when it felt like it will never happen for me. But guess what? It just took one thing, changing the way I thought. And I'm not here to tell you some fairy tales. I just want to show you how to unlock your potential by changing the story you tell yourself. So stick with me, the next few minutes are going to change your perspective. Let's be honest, I'm not going to just give you some tips. I'm going to share powerful strategies you can use right now to rewire your brain. By the end of this video, you'll not only feel inspired, you'll feel unstoppable. Let's break those limits together. Chapter 1. What are limiting beliefs? First, imagine your mind is like an old clutter attic. It's filled with dust, old memories, and stories you've accumulated over time. But buried deep in that attic are these limiting beliefs. They're hidden like old packages you never open, you know. But those limiting beliefs are not facts. They're literally just junks. And now it's time to clean up the attic, to uncover these old beliefs and realize they have no place in your future. From a scientific perspective, our brains are wired to find patterns. Those patterns come from old beliefs, past failures, and things others have told us, you know. Some studies in neuroscience show that we're hardwired to create mental shortcuts to beliefs, habits, and assumptions that help us make sense of the world. But here's the catch. Some of those shortcuts, those automatic beliefs, don't serve us. Instead, they limit our potential. The brain's plasticity, so the brain's abilities to form new connections, means that you can break those old beliefs and replace them with more empowering ones. And let's be honest, what's an empowering thing to know? And remember, as great Henry Ford said, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. That's how powerful your mind is. So if you believe you can't, you won't. And if you believe you can, you will. For example, when I first started my journey in the content creation world, I told myself, I'm not experienced enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not unique. And I let those beliefs paralyze me for months. But once I realized I could choose to think differently, everything changed. It was not the circumstances holding me back, it was my own beliefs. And when I flipped the script, that's when I actually started to make progress. Now that we know what the limiting beliefs are, how do we identify them? Like, how do we find these invisible walls we've been running into? Let's dive into that next. Chapter 2, identifying your limiting beliefs. So identifying your limiting beliefs is like taking a magnifying glass and looking at your thoughts closely. You know the doubts that always pop up when you want to take a step towards your dreams? Those are clues, and they're like cracks in the foundation of your belief system. If you ignore them, they'll keep growing. But if you acknowledge them, you can actually fix the foundation. So yeah, identifying your limiting belief actually starts with awareness. Researchers in cognitive psychology have identified something called cognitive distortion. Basically, it's mental patterns that lead us to see the world in a way that isn't accurate. For example, catastrophizing is when we take a small negative event and blow it out of proportion. When you identify this pattern, you can start to challenge them and ask, is this belief based on fact? or is it a thought that's been ingrained in me over time? And when you add that, trust me, the belief starts to lose its power. Let me ask you this. What is the biggest dream you've been holding back on? Maybe you've always wanted to start your own business or write a book or travel the world. I don't know. What belief pops up every time you think about it? Is it, I'm not smart enough, or maybe I don't have enough money? No, think about what will happen if you started challenging those beliefs. For me, it was the belief that I wasn't ready. I kept telling myself things like, I need to be more experienced before I start creating content, or I'm not qualified to talk about these topics. But when I sat down and reflected on the thought, I realized they were just my confusion talking. They were lies I'd been telling myself to avoid the discomfort of growing. Now that we found these limiting beliefs, it's time to confront them head on. But here's the thing, confronting them isn't enough. We need to understand where they come from and why they've stuck with us. So let's break down the origin of these beliefs. Chapter 3, the origin of limiting beliefs. Think of your limiting belief as seeds planted in the garden of your mind, okay? At first, they're just small thoughts. Maybe it's something someone said to you when you were young, or a failure you experienced. But if you water them with fear, doubt, or neglect, they'll grow into powerful trees shedding all the possibilities in your life. But guess what? You're the gardener and you have the power to uproot them. Psychologists believe that many of our limiting beliefs are formed during our childhood or adolescence through experiences of failure or being told we're not enough. And because the brain is constantly creating neural pathways based on these experiences, we tend to think that these beliefs are facts. But these beliefs are not your reality. They are patterns you've adopted, and trust me, with conscious effort, you can rewrite them. To quote Carl Jung, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. I find this to be a pretty powerful reminder that you are in power of your life. You don't have to be a victim of your past. You have the power to rewrite it. When I look back to my childhood, I can trace many of my limiting beliefs to things people say to me. Like, you're not as talented as others, your dreams are too big, or you don't have what it takes. But when I realized those were just words, I was able to detach from them. I stopped identifying to them, and that's when I started to break free. Now that we understand where our beliefs come from, how do we actually change them? Like, how do we reprogram our mind to align with our true potential? Let's get into that next. Chapter 4, reprogramming your mindset. Reprogramming your mindset is like resetting a broken compass. For years, your belief might have been pointing you in the wrong direction. But when you take the time to reset, you give yourself the chance to actually navigate toward your true north, aka the version of yourself you were always meant to be. Through the power of neuroplasticity, we can literally rewire our brains. Studies have shown that through consistent practice like affirmation, meditation, visualization, or somatic exercise, we can create new neural connections that support a more empowering belief system. It's like installing a new software system to your mind. When I started shifting my mindset, I didn't just wish for change, I took action. Every morning I will say to myself, I am capable, I am worthy of success, I am enough. And at first, of course, it felt awkward, but over time my mind began to accept it as truth. And this is the power of consistency and repetition. Now you've got all the tools to change your beliefs, but there's one more thing we need to talk about. How to keep this transformation going. Because no, it's not about one moment of clarity. It's about the small daily action that reinforce your new mindset. So let's dive into those daily practices. And finally, chapter 5, daily practices to reinforce new beliefs. Daily practices are like the fertilizer you need to grow a beautiful garden. Without them, the seeds you've planted won't thrive. It's the small, consistent action that nurture your new beliefs and help them grow strong, okay? Psychological research shows that the belief and the behaviors plays a massive role in reinforcing beliefs. By the way, please read the books Atomic Habits. If you're constantly acting in ways that align with your new mindset, those beliefs become ingrained to your identity, okay? The more you practice your new beliefs, the more they become a part of who you are. Start with small habits. First, practice daily affirmation. Try some somatic exercise like EFT. Journal your progress and visualize your success. 2, surround yourself with positivity, whether through a podcast, a book, or a supportive community. The more you immerse yourself in this new mindset, the more it will become second nature. You got this, and you already taken the first step by simply watching this video. Now it's time to put all this into action, and I want you to commit today to rewiring your mind. It's not going to be easy, but I promise you, when you do, you'll step into a next level of freedom and success that you never thought possible. Remember, you are the creator of your own reality. And as the great Maya Angelou said, you may not control all the events that happen to you, but you can decide not to be outraged by them. See you next video. Ciao, ciao. And girl, I have a limiting belief too. People have limiting belief too. Everybody has them, okay? You're not alone. So please be gentle with yourself. It takes time. It's a life journey. So please detach yourself from what you cannot control and try to shine as bright as possible. You got this.